Welcome back to Video Sit-Downs on MasonWebTV.com. I'm Diedrich Allen, again off mic, or off camera, on mic, off camera. And you are seeing Drew MacEwen. He is running for 35th District State Representative, position number 2. He is a Republican. And Drew, tell us about Drew MacEwen.
All right, well, thank you, Diedrich. Thanks for having me, and good morning, everyone. My name is Drew MacEwen. I'm running to be your state representative in the House, the 35th District, position 2. I moved out here in 1994 via the U.S. Navy, served on the submarines USS Nevada and USS Florida out of Bangor, Washington. And upon leaving the Navy, I entered the investment field. And a few years later, in 2001, I started my own firm, Falcon Financial. And the timing on that was less than desirable. It was 3 weeks before 9/11. But learned some hard lessons through that, and we survived. And that company, my company, is still in business here 11 years later, and I'm proud of that. And one of the ways we got through that was, frankly, I took a second job working at 10 at night to 6 in the morning in a factory, ending that shift, getting on my bike down to my office, and then sleep on the floor for a couple hours, and then hit the phone, and that's how we survived that initial financial crisis that hit our country. And but you learn how to adapt and how to change and get through things. And why I'm running for office, frankly, I had some people within the community come to me a couple years ago and asked me to consider running, and I wasn't ready to at that time. But in this election cycle, again, that call came, and I'm happy to have answered that. And here I am. I want to be a representative. We need to make some changes in our state, make this district more competitive, our state more competitive in the business climate, and let's change the culture that's in Olympia, and let's become business friendly, and let's get people back to work and get Washington working again. So I'm asking for your vote, and I would appreciate it, and look forward to your questions, Diedrich.
All right, the first question is, what is the biggest issue or problem facing the 35th District in the state of Washington? How do you plan to deal with it?
Yep. Well, I think that's first and foremost in everyone's mind, and that is the job market and the economy. And how I plan to deal with it, again, it's changing the culture in Olympia. We have a regulatory burden that is ever-changing and is very burdensome on the backs of small business, and that needs to change. We need to have a system where there is a check and balance when it comes to agencies putting regulations on top of businesses. We also need to look at our tax structure of the B&O tax. And the first couple of years are very, very critical for any new business. And if we can have a system in place that allows some of those businesses that are in the startup phase to maybe be exempt or not have the same heavy burden of the B&O tax, and give them time to incubate and to grow and create more jobs, I believe that that'll help our business climate. We need to be more business friendly, and we're not in this district nor in this state. And again, being in business for the last 11 years for myself, I come to understand what's behind job growth and what's behind making a business succeed or fail. And quite frankly, one of the advantages that I'll have, or maybe you could say a disadvantage as well, but any vote I take in Olympia, I've got to live personally with the consequence of that as a business owner, because my company is still going to be here. And that'll be first and foremost on my mind. So we need to change the culture and the business climate to make it more competitive, be more open for business, and that is how we will grow our job base and create more jobs.
Okay, how do you propose to increase tax revenues and support current services in the state 35th District?
Yeah. Well, first and foremost, I'm completely, without question, I'm opposed to any increase in taxes or fees. The people of the state of Washington pay enough right now. This state needs to begin to learn to live within its means. So how do we grow, though, our revenue without increasing the existing burden on our taxpayers? Again, it goes back to the job market. And if we can become more business friendly and have a fostering business climate, more businesses will grow, more jobs will be created, more people will be paying taxes. That increases the revenue. Our state has enough revenue as it is right now. We just spend too much, and it's time for the state of Washington to live within its means.
Well, you've alluded to it, so I have a specific question for it. Do
Sure.
you have a specific plan to attract business and industry and jobs and that sort of thing to the 35th District in the state, and can you summarize that plan for us?
Sure. Again, in summary, it's pretty close to what I've said here in the last couple of questions, but easing the regulatory environment, the tax environment needs to be more open to fostering new business, and again, that'll create more revenue. When it comes to our state budget and fixing that, first and foremost, we in our biennium budget right now, we have continued to utilize projections that, grant, we've been through some tough economic times, but the way the budget process works is we're using projections and spending all that projected revenue. When that revenue ends up not being there because we're in these difficult times, then they have to make cuts from what they really wanted to spend. And so there's some ambiguity there when it comes to talking about cuts. Are we talking about cuts from projected spending, or are we talking about cuts from true levels versus the last budget? And a lot of times the cuts have been from what they've wanted to spend. We need to get realistic and be more realistic in our revenue projections and not plan to spend all the money that we're projecting that we're going to get as a state. So having a more solid structural budgetary process will go a long ways and ease some of the burden there. And again, though, with fostering a business climate, having been in business for the last 11 years, and I'm proud of that, it's communication. It's understanding what do businesses need. And the state, as a government unit, cannot create the jobs, but it can foster a climate that is conducive to creating more business. And so it's having an open communication line between businesses and industry and understanding what their needs are and how can we make that happen so that they can grow and succeed.
Final question for you. What is the state's single biggest need?
Well, that's, again, I would go back to the jobs and the economy, but let's talk about education because that's a very important part of that whole process. And again, that does relate to the job market because when a company is looking to relocate or stay in a given area, their employees, they'll overlook some housing issues, some road issues perhaps, but employees will never overlook the quality of the education. They will leave or not go somewhere if the education system is not what they want it to be. That is a key component. And when we look at the education process in the state, 60% of our college freshmen have to take remedial math and English to get up to college speed. That is not acceptable. We need to empower our teachers and empower our parents so that our kids are fully prepared for the 21st century and ready to go when they graduate college. Right now, 59 cents out of every dollar makes it to the classroom. That figure needs to be a lot higher. We improve the education system in the state. It does draw back to the job market and helps us become more competitive. Not only do we produce a high-quality workforce, which we are constitutionally required to by K-12 funding, but it also makes us more competitive. And I really firmly believe that the education system and the job market do tie hand in hand. We have high-quality teachers. We need to give them the tools they need and cut the upper-level bureaucracy that is in place, and that's having a negative impact on our local school districts.
All right. Drew MacEwen.
Thank you.
Got 35th District State Representative, position number 2 candidate, and a Republican. Thank you.
Thank you.
We'll be back with our next candidate in about 20 minutes.